Right, so we are live on all the video. It's time to rock and roll. Let's do it. Good morning, podcasters. Today is Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, and today we're making the toughest podcasting decisions without using the words, "it depends." Every dilemma forces us to choose, defend our answer, and discover what matters most as creators. So if you're listening live on Clubhouse, hit the share button, top right-hand side of the screen, and share it however Clubhouse lets you. And if you're catching us via podcast, YouTube, etc., please share this episode with a fellow podcaster. And now, give me about 30 seconds, and we'll get things rolling. Thanks for being here. The Podcasting Morning Show is powered by Ironic Media, helping podcasters launch, polish, and grow great shows. And by Content Creators Accountant, helping creators build real business behind their content. Good morning again, Podcasting Morning Show. Thank you so much for being here. I am your host, Mark Ronick, and currently on stage with me, my co-hosts, we have Ralph Estep, DR Fay, Sid Meadows, and BC Babbles. Also on stage with us here on Clubhouse, we have Dan Schultz, Tide Tutoring, a.k.a. Nikki, and also Rez, a.k.a. DJ Rez. And if you're watching us live on the video streams, welcome. We've been having a little trouble seeing the chat lately on Riverside. I haven't taken enough time to really figure out why I can't anymore. So if you're chatting us over there and we're a little slow to respond, that's why. But Ralph, I know you usually keep an eye on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir. I keep an eye on it, and I am live on YouTube, so feel free to join in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
And you can see that I'm rocking the old mic back.
Yes,
So,
you are. You got rid of the other one, the fancy looking one.
The fancy one just didn't sound as good as this one.
Well, okay, so you're back to the Shure SM7B. And we also have, by the way, special guest, Jason Sircone, my business partner for Empowered Podcasting. Welcome, Jason.
What's up, everybody?
Great to have you here. I was hoping to also get another special guest. I was hoping Nick Nalbach would be able to return today. He has a change in schedule that's going to make it a little more flexible for him to join us. By the way, did I say Sid Meadows is on stage with us? Not sure if I actually said that or not, so please forgive me, Sid. And by the way, you can learn about Sid and Nick and all the other people I just mentioned over at podcastingmorningshow.com/people. Okay, so we are going to dive into things. There were a couple things I wanted to actually get to first. Usually lately we've been doing on Tuesdays interviews. We didn't have an interview scheduled for today. That's why we're going to be playing this game. It's very much like Would You Rather, and I'll explain more in a moment. But we are working on a guest because, DR, you were, I guess, dealing with some social media challenges over the weekend, and you posted in our Empowered Podcasting Facebook group looking for a social media manager. Yeah. Curious, what were the struggles that you were dealing with? Because we've found somebody to join us maybe as soon as this Thursday. It depends on some programming stuff.
Yeah, so because of AI, I have had to expand what Mouthy Broad Media, my company, does. And I have added press releases to the whole, repertoire of things. I've added social media management. I've added this, I've added that. Now, I'm not doing social media. I'm outsourcing that.
Sure.
But it has proven I have 2 new clients basically coming on at the same time, and both of them are interested in the social media management. And one of them had questions that I couldn't really answer very quickly. So that's why I had to kind of go out and reach out to some maybe empowered podcasting people, and I think I put the note on some other platforms. and I just had questions, and I wanted to be perfectly transparent that I was not hiring.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
just
That's a
I
hard
just
thing on
it
social
is.
media, to ask a question without
Yeah.
getting then bombarded with the people that
Yeah, and I
offer the services.
apologized. I'm not hiring. I just really need some questions answered. And holy cow, Eddie,
Yes.
dude, so generous with his
Eddie
resources.
Garrison, yes.
Yes,
He's going to
so
be a
generous.
speaker at Empowered Podcasting as well in August this summer. And yeah, so when I saw he jumped in and said, "Hey, I can help you," I reached out to him. Why not? Let's bring somebody who's part of our community here and talk about some of the social media challenges that you have, but also in general how we can use social media more effectively for
Yeah.
us in our
And it's a
podcast.
way to also to interview him. It's also going to promote him. It's a way of thanking him for all the beautiful resources that he just handed over to me.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I
Yeah, so
really
we'll do that.
appreciate
Maybe
it.
maybe we'll ask him about those resources, learn more about those things. I think it'll be an interesting. We haven't really done a social media episode in a while, so I
Mhm.
think it's overdue. So we will do that either this Thursday or next Tuesday. I will keep you posted. We also have an evaluation that the team has started already listening to, has already evaluated. At least several people have. And Nikki, it's your show. I know you're on stage with us, so thank you for submitting. I know it's been a minute. You submitted last month, I believe, and we're getting to it now. The team has listened. At least half the team has already listened. So I will also let you know if it happens this Thursday or next. So more to come on that. Now, today, I picked today's game because podcasters have choices that they have to make all the time, and most of those choices come with a trade-off. For example, more listeners or a more engaged community, better episodes or more frequent episodes. Are you searching for recognition or revenue, creative freedom or financial stability? We usually want to say it depends because there's a case to be made for both sides. So this morning, I want to force ourselves to pick one, similarly to how we played that other game, Keep It, Dump It, Change It, last week. So for each dilemma, you'll get two choices, A or B, and then everyone will choose their answer first. Don't give me long explanations. I just want your answers first. And then a couple of you will get a chance to explain and defend your answer. It depends can be a part of your explanation, but it can't be your answer. It can't be your choice. Okay. So I think what I want to do is start with a warm up that affects how a lot of us actually make our shows. Remember, it's just a warm up question. This is going to kind of maybe feel like a softball question to some of you, but that's the idea here. If you had to choose one way to record every episode, would you rather record in person or would you rather record remotely? All right. Wow. DR just came right off mic. I want to answer. Okay. So DR will go to you and then we'll go down the row, A or B. So again, A is you would rather record in person, B remotely. Go ahead, DR.
B, remote.
Okay. Ralph, how about you?
I would rather do A.
Okay, Ralph would rather do it in person. Okay, let's keep going down the row here. Sid, how about you?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I do them virtually and they work, but I would much more prefer to do them in person. I think the chemistry and the body language and all that stuff
Hey,
can
you're
just be
going
so
against the rules,
improved.
going against the rules, no
Of course.
I was
explanation.
just looking.
Sorry,
I was
sorry,
just looking for a buzzer to
sorry,
play.
sorry. I wasn't listening. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
That's okay.
I'm going back on mute.
BC, what say you? A or B? A being you would record in person, B remotely.
A, in person all the way.
In person. So most people are saying in person, except for you, DR, right? You said remote. Okay, let's go to Dan.
Remote.
Dan prefers remote. There you go. Nikki, do you want to play along?
Sure. I pick remote.
Okay, there you go. It's just when I say it, it starts evening out. Rez, you get the last vote.
In person.
All right, so I think in person just squeaks it out. Let's go to Sid
Did
first.
Jason give
Oh,
us?
Jason, my bad, Jason. Please forgive me.
Geez, I'm on camera and you forgot about
I
it.
know. Please forgive me.
I'd say in person.
All right,
Oh,
so
damn. The only reason why I brought up your name is because I thought you were going to say
Nope. Sorry.
all right, we'll go to Sid first, and then because I forgot Jason, we'll go to Jason next. Go ahead, Sid.
What are you coming to me for?
I want to hear your reasoning. Finish up
Oh.
what you were sharing.
Oh, so now I'm supposed to talk?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I just, I mean, I record virtually now. I have 4 recordings this week, and they're great, and I really enjoy them. It's super easy to do from anywhere, and wherever my guests are, wherever they are, it makes the ability to access them super easy, right? But I just think that the chemistry of recording in person is so much stronger, and your ability to build a stronger connection when you're sitting across just the table from somebody or on a chair next to them. I think it just creates a better dynamic and more engaging conversation.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll share my thoughts in a second, but first let's go to Jason. Jason, so you also chose in person.
Yeah, what Sid said. That's really my
Yeah.
answer. I think if I could add one thing to it, the opportunity. I look at podcasting on the level of networking and building relationships, and the recording is just the first part of that. If there's synergy in that element, then you can probably take it to the next level where you would connect on a call that would be plotting world domination, quote unquote. So doing that in person, you have that ability right on the spot. That's why I prefer that method.
Okay. Yeah, I like that add-on. Thank you for that, Jason. And DR, since you said remote, let's go to you. Why did you choose remote over in person?
It just feels cleaner. The audio can be cleaner. I like the 2 separate tracks. I don't know. I just
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you can do the 2 separate tracks, and you can have pretty clean sound in person
But
too.
with you're always worried about the bleed and
Yeah.
you know,
So the bleed, that's a
yeah.
wheel of jargon term, right?
Yeah.
The bleed that's when your audio from your there it is. Wheel of jargon. That's when the sound is coming out of your headphones and your microphone is picking it up.
Or if you were in a live situation with someone in the room, what they are
Yeah.
saying is coming through on your microphone
Correct,
and vice
yes.
versa.
Yes,
Do-
Jason,
do you-
were you going to add something?
Yeah, I was going to ask DR, would you change your thinking if you were in a professional studio where all of the microphones were connected properly and you're able to
Spaced
Mm.
accordingly.
yeah,
Yeah.
like dump out all the stuff that you're worried about if you're setting it up yourself versus, doing it like we're doing today?
I don't know. I had the most horrendous experience recently trying to edit some recorded video with 2 guests and a host, and it was comical. It was like the Three Stooges. It was the most horrible thing, and so maybe I'm stinging a little bit from that.
You're a little jaded, I see.
Oh, it was bad.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I think my opinion is the podcast most of the time is going to be a better one, for lack of a better word, if it is in person. There is something like Sid said and Jason echoed as far as that chemistry. It feels like the chemistry develops a lot quicker and feels a little more natural. At the same time, I know that I've gotten so used to doing it remotely. I think it would take me a while to get comfortable always doing a show in person.
Well, Nikki also said remotely, and so did Dan, I think.
Yeah. Did anyone else want to defend that? Go ahead, Dan.
I like that I use Riverside, and I like everything to be neat and in order for my
Yeah.
OCD. And I love
Agreed.
knowing that I can go back 4 months ago and grab the one file from my co-host, and I can do whatever I want with it. I think that's all important. Jason's right, though. I mean, if you have it set up properly, you can still do the consistent. I mean, but I really hate all of the bleed. I want editing to be as simple as it can be because I
Mhm.
spend enough time on it on purpose. Like I really want to spend time making really good edits as opposed to cutting out mic bleed. So I want it to be one spot. Everything's the same. I know she recorded at this level. I recorded at this level, blah, blah, blah. Everything with me is like frameworks and getting stuff from Riverside into Descript, into whatever I'm editing. And then it's nice and easy.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Dan. All right, let's keep moving because that was a warm up and I don't want to get too caught in the weeds on that one. So let's keep it going. Would you rather 10,000 listeners who rarely interact with you or 500 listeners who regularly respond, share, and participate? So again, 10,000 listeners who rarely interact, but they do clearly show up because you know that they exist according to your analytics, or 500 listeners who regularly respond, share, and participate. Now, I have a feeling I'm going to guess, but I want you guys to be really honest about this. Okay? Because I know that there's the correct answer, quote unquote, but like, let's talk about this. So let's go down the line. Ralph, I'm starting with you.
I'll take the 500.
I feel like we're playing Jeopardy. I'll take
That's what
500, Alex.
I'll take the 500, Alex.
Go ahead, DR.
500.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, this is too easy. 500.
All right, we'll go through this one quickly. Sid, how about you? I have a feeling I know your answer too.
500.
I promise you guys these get a little more intense as we go. BC, go ahead.
500.
All right, I'm going to stop. Does anybody have a different answer? Does anyone say 10,000? I want to share this. I did pause. Now, obviously, yes, I want people to interact, respond, help share. That's what makes this show go round. Do we have 500 regular listeners every episode? No, we have less than that, being transparent with you. And I'd still take that over 10,000. But I will say there is something attractive about having 10,000 listeners. And I will say that I know that there are advertisers, sponsors out there that they are driven by the big numbers. Regardless of what we say is important, there are sponsors out there that number means they may want to work with you. So I can't knock somebody for saying they want 10,000 listeners because I know that there are other advantages that come with that. So I think, yeah, this is where it.
But Mark,
it
isn't that
depends.
a lot of ego in that too, though, to be blunt?
Yes.
And I, it's funny because this month, July, has been an interesting month for my daily show. I'm probably going to have close to 40,000 downloads this month because I've been doing a lot of push on that.
Nice.
And, that's a huge growth for me. And part of that is an ego thing because I'm thinking, yeah, but this isn't making me any more money. But so strategically, I'm thinking, oh, that's great. But I just worry that we get stuck on the ego for that. I'm not disagreeing with you. There are sponsorship opportunities if the audience is bigger. But if we're really talking about the monetization, I think we really need to focus on the smaller engaged audiences. But I understand both sides of this one.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in on that or respond to what I said? Jason?
The
Go ahead. Go to Jason.
10,000
Oh, okay, go ahead, dear.
Oh, sorry. The 10,000, it's like you're speaking into the void. There's no gauge to tell you that you're doing good, they agree with you, that they disagree with you. It's just speaking into a void. And at least if you had some engaged listeners, that could only make your show better.
Okay, and Jason, your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I think it comes down to what you want to accomplish. If you are working a pure CPM model, then yeah, 10,000 downloads is going to help you make more money. But DR just nailed it perfectly. And I echo a lot of that with what I'm seeing on LinkedIn with all of these bots that are constantly commenting or reaching out and saying they want to blow up your numbers. Is any of it real? I mean, some of it you have to believe just based off of law of averages that your numbers are legit, but of that 10,000, how much of it is just bot nonsense that's inflating your metrics for nothing? That's a hard sell to make to a potential sponsor. But at the same time, if they're only looking at a big number, then it could be in your favor. So I think it really boils down to what you want to accomplish with your show.
Okay, and then I'm going to go to BC and then Alex, and then we're going to go to the next question. BC, I saw you put something in the chat. So did you want to share here out loud?
Sure, real quick. So I said you can't pitch 10,000 followers when you only have 1,500 that actually engage. That's the number that matters. But also, we don't know whether or not you had a surge of followers coming because you had a weird one-off piece of content. I had a surge a couple of years ago on TikTok for a piece of content I don't do anymore, and my actual content that I do it every day now, I don't get 2,400 views or 2,400 pieces of engagement because it's now irrelevant to that one-off that caused the surge.
Mm-hmm.
So the number's there, but the activity's not.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, I'm going to go to Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Hey guys. Yeah, it just depends on what you're gonna do with them, and I think that's the main thing. Like what DC was saying, you might get those one-offs, but even if you do have that, if it's 10,000 and you only have really 1,500, you know, they're still engaging. Whether they a lot, what we fail to realize is, and this drives me nuts as someone that posts stuff. You'll post all the time, and then all of a sudden you'll post something that's kind of obscure, and then people will start commenting on it. And you know, I really do believe that with that 10,000, whether it's real or not, it's where you can kind of push them to go. And if you do have that core, maybe you can increase that core over time.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And Dan, I'm going to give you and Sid the final word, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Go ahead, Dan.
I wasn't going to comment, but if you really do have 500 that are engaged, that is what I'd always rather have, because you can easily turn, if they're really engaged, you can easily have them grow the 500 to 10,000. It's just all about how you use them to do it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if you've got a group of engaged listeners or an engaged community, there's a lot you can build from there. So yeah, excellent point, Dan. Sid, how about you?
So I want to be clear. I would love to open up Buzzsprout and see that my episodes are getting an average of 10,000 downloads per episode. I would love that. And my sponsors would love it as well. But the engagement of the listeners that I have now is really high. So yeah, I want 10,000, but I want 10,000 engaged. And that relies on me providing valuable content and insights that they want to listen to and they want to hear. So is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It's going to take a heck of a lot of work in order to get 10,000 listeners, and I would absolutely love it, but I don't want it as a one-off viral moment. I want it consistently, and I want 10,000 engaged listeners that are going to take action and move the needle forward for not just my show, but for their business.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so yes, not one of the choices, but yes, I asked for explanations, and I.
Hey, Mark, can
appreciate
I throw something in there? Because Rez put something in the YouTube chat I think we should address.
Okay.
And Rez said in there that, well, if you have 10,000, you'll make more money. And I want to challenge that, because that's not necessarily true. And I think there's a lot of content creators that think if you have numbers, you're going to make more money with your show. That's not necessarily true. If you've got 500 engaged people that are interested in the products and services that you offer, I can show you truthfully that can make a ton more money than 10,000. I just wanted to correct the record there a little bit, because I think it's a popular misconception of people in podcasting.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ralph. And I think about that, even if the argument is, well, yeah, you can make money with 10,000 listeners with a sponsor, right? Or multiple sponsors. But here's the truth, and I've seen this happen firsthand. When you have a show with a lot of listeners that don't really interact, that also applies to responding to those advertisements. They're not doing what the advertiser is hoping they do. Go buy that product, go sign up for that service, whatever it is. And then they leave. So yeah, you might make a little money at the front of it, but it doesn't last. Whereas when you have an engaged audience, of a smaller engaged audience, you can sell products and services. They're going to eat that up, whether they're yours or someone else's. And that's going to encourage you or the advertiser to keep going, keep selling those products and services to that audience. So it is something to think about. I'm glad that you called that out there, Ralph. Thank you. All right. Would you guys rather, let's see, I almost read you the same one. Would you rather double the number of new listeners finding your show, or double the percentage of listeners who return for another episode? Okay, so double the number. A is double the number of new listeners that find you. B is double the percentage of listeners who return for another episode. Two very different things. Go ahead, DR.
I'm going to say A, I think.
Okay, A. So she's going to say she wants to double new listeners that find
Yeah,
her
I
show.
think so.
Jason, how about you?
B.
All right, Dave. All right, and Ralph.
I'm going to go with A, Alex.
Okay, Sid. Am I going to skip you?
I'm going to go with C, which is both.
Got to pick one.
He's making his own rules today, the Sid.
I'm going to actually pick a B, the
Returning episodes. Okay, returning 2 more episodes. Okay, fair. BC.
I'm so sorry, I missed the question. What was it?
Double the number of new listeners finding your show, or double the percentage of listeners who return for another episode.
I'm going to go with new listeners.
Okay. Dan?
I'm going to go returning, B.
All right, we kind of have a split going, I think, right now. Go ahead, Nikki. I'll come back to you, Nikki. Rez. There she is. Hold on.
My fault. I was sending an email. Could you remind me of the question?
Double the number of new listeners finding your show, or double the percentage of listeners who return for another episode?
I would say return.
Okay, return. Go ahead, Rez.
Return for sure.
Alex, you want to play along?
Yeah, I say B.
Okay.
And I'm surprised people were saying A as much.
Yeah, well, since we've got you, why are you surprised?
Well, you know, I'm gonna pick on DR and Ralph. You know, in one breath you were saying it's about the retention of your listeners, and if you have 500 listeners that are loyal, it's better than 10,000. So I mean that's kind of the way I was going about it. I mean, you know, just because people see your feed doesn't mean they actually engage with it, versus people that are engaging. I just think you want to build that, as we like to say, that community of people that really that are passionate about your topic, and if they're engaging, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and
I mean, just because they're returning for a second episode doesn't mean that they're engaging.
Right. So that's the thing is that I think there is a correlation. There's a correlation there. Alex, can you mute because it makes
I was going to say
terrible
those guys are all the 10,000 people. They're all a bunch of Android users, so it doesn't really matter.
There is a difference between retention and engagement, but there's a difference and there's a correlation, because I think that if you've got their retention, if they are listening, they're probably going to be interested in coming back again to the next one. And if they're engaging, that also is a sign that they're going to keep coming back, but they're not necessarily identical either. Does anyone want to defend their answer?
I do. I want to defend the new ones, and I'll tell you why. Because I have confidence in the content I put out. And if I have somebody that gets to hear it or see it for the first time, I have a high level of confidence they're going to want to come back. So one of the biggest struggles, I think, especially in podcasting, is discovery. And if I can double the amount of people that have discovered what I'm doing, then I feel like that's going to move the needle, because honestly, the people who are already in there, they're coming back anyway. So they're getting value.
Fair point. Jason, do you want to defend your side?
Not anymore, because that's really, really good. Well, I was my thinking on saying that I would want people to be coming back and doubling up the people that are hearing. I forget how did you say this again? How was this?
Double
worded?
the number of new listeners finding your show, or double the percentage of listeners who return for another episode.
I tend to lean towards you need to hear something more than once or see something more than once to really get engaged with it. So to get to that point to where you have an engaged listener, those 500 is our magic number for today's conversation. I feel like they need to hear more content. One episode might do really well, but maybe that first episode just whets their appetite a little bit and says, okay, that wasn't bad. What else is here? And now they start going through the catalog a little bit more. So I would rather get to that point. I'm with Ralph though. Like, I feel that my podcast content is good enough that a first-time listener is going to say, okay, what else is here? Let me check out the rest of this catalog, and then I can start to move them down that engagement path. So, man, this goes all over the map.
Dan, I see you wanted to chime in, and then we'll go to Sid.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. Ultimately, getting new listeners is a tools thing or a process thing, right? It's just you do some SEO, you do this, you do that. That's just something we can all control if we know the process. But to get them to come back, that means you actually worked on the show, and you should always that is ultimately always going to be my answer, that your show can't suck. It's so hard to get people to get there. So all of the work you're doing, you should just spend so much time making the show good. So when they do show up, they are going to come back. I mean, the one is simple, one is hard. Do the hard one.
Yeah, and Dan is, I know what he was just referring to. I have had a conversation with him about this off the show where he's talked about, really there are all these tips and tricks out there around how to get discovered, how to improve your show, how to grow your show. And Dan's in that camp that I can't argue. If you're putting on a really good show, all that other stuff really falls into place. I
think Steve Martin said, be so good they force you not to ignore you. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
but Mark, isn't that the argument? If you build it, they will come. I just don't know if I believe that, because I think you can have stellar content that's fantastic and engaging, but if people don't know about it, they're never going to find it.
Yes, there are definitely tactics that will help people find your show. You can't just put out a really good show without promoting it, without spreading the word, etc. But I believe that the effort isn't nearly as challenging if you're putting on a really good production. That's really what I think it comes down to.
So the answer is C, like Sid said.
Right. And actually,
I mean, it's a Sophie's choice. I mean, they're both good. It's not, it's not like.
Well, that's the idea of the game.
I'm just saying. It's.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Alex. Sid, did you want to get the final word on this one?
So, Ralph is not wrong that discovery is hard. And we talk about this a lot, right?
Yeah.
And Jason, I can't see Jason on my screen. I forget that he's there because he's not on Clubhouse. But Jason had some really great follow-ups to it, because we talk about it a lot. Discovery is hard, and I focus on it quite a bit. But when you think about it, like from a sales perspective, when you're trying to get new listeners, it's like cold calling, and you're dialing for dollars to get people to buy, in our case, get people to listen. But when they've come once already, that's a warm lead where you're trying to get them to convert. You know them, you have a relationship. They've heard your content, they've heard how you talk, they heard how you moderate a conversation, whatever it might be. And so I think it's easier to convert the ones that can come back, right? And capture that. So I think of it like a warm lead. And if I've got 100 people that listen one day, for me, that's an opportunity to turn those 100 people into true followers. And so I'd rather focus on them. I mean, I do focus a lot on discovery. Don't get me wrong about that, right? Because I want more people listening to my show. But the ones that are already there, you got to keep them coming back. And so I think it's a really important conversation. And to Alex's point, I think C is really the answer.
That's why we play this game, to bring out these discussions and to really figure out sometimes why we say it depends, right? Okay, let's go to this next one. The category is dream guest or dream episode. Let me explain. Choice A, your dream guest on an quote-unquote average episode, meaning average quality. It was fine. It was a good episode. Or an unknown guest on one of your best episodes ever, that you've deemed it like this one was out of the park, knocked it out of the park. It's a guest that nobody really knows. Okay, so A, your dream guest on an average episode. B, an unknown guest on one of your best ever. Ralph, going to you first.
I'm going to the unknown, number B.
Okay, and that's a letter, just if we're playing along, not a number.
Sorry, it's early in the morning here, my friend.
I'm just kidding. All
Well,
right, go
I'm
ahead.
good with numbers, dude.
I know. See, that's it. You're
That's
just
what it
always
comes
thinking
down to.
numbers. Yes. Go ahead, DR.
I say B, unknown guest.
All right, and Jason?
Same. B.
Okay, all three said B on that one. Let's see what the rest of the panel says. Sid?
B.
Another B. All right, BC.
Tougher one, but I think I'm going to also go with B.
Okay, Alex?
I had this happen. It's B.
Okay, we'll have to hear about that in a minute. Dan, how about you?
The real answer is B, but we had Mr. T on our show once and he talked to my dog. So that was a really crappy episode. It was really neat because now I have a story. So if A gives you a story, go A. Otherwise, B.
I like that. Okay, Nikki, dream
I'm
guest.
going to go with
Which one? I'm
the
sorry.
guest. The guest.
You're going with dream guest?
Yep, the guest.
Okay. Well, because they're both guests. All right, and we'll go to Rez.
For sure, the dream guest one.
I
Yep.
had a feeling you would pick that one, Rez. I'm getting to know you based on your answers these days. Okay, let's go to the people. Let's go to you, Rez. Why your dream guest on an average episode over an unknown guest on one of your best ever?
I don't know. I think that having my dream guest would just naturally make that episode better and also more social proof. And I'm assuming by dream guest, you're talking about a guest that is like maybe famous or right.
I
Is
guess
that?
you can make that assumption. I'm not.
Yeah, Mr. T, clearly.
But yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, there is something we talk about this with podcasting, right? Like some of this is that it's an amazing networking opportunity. And if you can get an opportunity to sit down with your dream guest, I can understand why someone like Rez might go that route. I think it's okay sometimes to be selfish if you're doing some things for you, right? Because you got to be able, you have to enjoy what you're doing. So I certainly don't fault Rez for picking A. Anyone else want to chime in and defend their answer? Well,
I'll jump in.
yeah, go ahead, Sid.
I think that, I don't have a dream guest list, but there are some really big names in the industry that I would like to interview for a variety of different reasons. But the reason that I don't reach out to them is there's too many loopholes to jump through, too many constraints. There's somebody that I've known for many, many years. He's the CEO of a $3 billion, or the chairman of the board of a $3 billion family owned company. He's the third generation, and I've known him for probably 20 years. And I actually asked him when I saw him in person in June, and the look on his face was, oh, I don't know, Sid. Like, I don't know. And the reason I say that is because he's going to want to have all the questions before we record. Then his marketing team is going to want to review the podcast and want to do their own edits to it. So I think sometimes the celebrity or the big guest comes with a lot of loops that are a lot of loopholes you have to jump through in order to get the episode actually published. And that's not my show. My show is a real conversation with real people. And I'd rather keep the integrity of my show than to bring on a dream guest that I'm going to have to change the show so much and edit it so many times to get it to a place that they like it.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of that as a factor. That's a good one. Thank you, Sid. Let's go to Nikki. Nikki, what did you want to add to this?
I was just going to say that 99% of the time, whenever I think that my episode is going to be like the best episode, I've done the greatest job ever, it never turns out that way as far as like the numbers are concerned. So I feel like I've lost all hope on that end, and I would just go with the Dreamcast.
Ralph?
I want to jump in there for a second. And Nikki, you do great work, by the way. I previewed your episode. It's fantastic.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
for
spoiler
the
alert. Nikki
evaluation
does
episode.
great work. But I think the problem with this is so many people think that Dream Guest is going to rocket ship them to the top of the charts. And if you look at the statistics, I look at the people who have had the Dream Guest, it doesn't work. Does it open up new doors? Sure. But is it going to be that easy button that's going to propel you into stardom? Probably not, because what they found is people, the dream guests, don't promote your show. They come on there to serve their own purposes. So I think that's the problem, Mark, is a lot of people go into this with that thought process of, well, if I get the dream guest, they're going to send me my show out to everybody they know, and I'm going to become an instant sensation overnight. It just doesn't usually happen like that.
Mm-hmm. I see, Jason, you're nodding.
Yeah, I
emphatically.
couldn't agree with that more. That's why I can remember the last time I even thought about dream guests, quote unquote. I just figured, I mean, I've had a couple cool experiences with my show with a couple local celebrities. I mean, these are past podcasts I don't do anymore. Probably the biggest one was Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria. These are neat experiences that for me, I get to I get to sit down and actually talk with this guy and have him on my podcast. That was cool. But in regards to growth, maybe one episode took off a little bit more, but after that one episode, it went right back to where it was. So people were coming for that guy and then going away. So for me, it's more about building quality content with like-minded peers that I can bring on the show and then let that speak for itself.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. We've got Jeff Dwoskin on stage and more people coming up on stage. I didn't realize this question would get people chatting, but here we are. So Jeff, go for it. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's everyone?
Good.
I think one thing we're all assuming is that these are good dreams and nightmares are dreams too. And so, I think a dream guest looks good on the timeline. Looks good when you're asking for credibility. I think the difference, I always really enjoy the people, and I think you get more information out of the people who aren't necessarily that famous, but have the right stories and will actually tell them. With the dream guest, there's a good chance that person's already been on 1,000 other podcasts also. So you're one of 1,000 of that piece of content. And then the other people, and sometimes they're more reserved or very specific in how they'll say things. And the people who are less famous, I guess you could say, will share stories because they don't have anything to lose at that point. You know what I mean? Or that's how I always kind of gauge it, is where are they in their career and what do they have to lose? Because the people that have the most to lose are going to always be the most reserved in their views. They're not going to give you like the tea.
Yeah, and so Jeff, I know Jeff does a show and he gets to interview a lot of, I guess, really more so like C and D listers. Is that fair to say, Jeff? Not B necessarily?
I like to say I interview people who were really famous when they were famous.
Got it. Okay, so you've interviewed a lot of famous people and you love pop culture. Have you ever had one of your dream guests?
I've had some good ones. I've been rejected by the Fonz 4 times, so that would be like, that would be that's who I'm really trying to get to. But but I know, like, if I was to interview Steven Spielberg, I'd just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And yes, whenever you land Henry Winkler, let me know. I will be the first in line to listen to that episode, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got half the other cast, but not him.
So Jeff, who was the last person that you were like, hey, this was a good get? I'm impressed.
Well, I think the last person I talked to, Clay Aiken, he was on American Idol season 2, was a really big one, and had a huge fan base. Matthew Lillard was a big one recently.
Actor.
I find that it depends on how old you are to answer the question, who's the most famous person you've talked to, because it depends on your point of view. Like, I might go, hey, I talked to Ed Begley, big names, and then they'll just stare at me and I'll go, Carol Baskin from Tiger King. You talked to Carol Baskin? Oh my God. And I'm like, okay, I need to go. I need to retire.
And Jeff, share the name of your show again for our audience in case they want to listen.
Classic Conversations with Jeff Dwoskin. I say with Jeff Dwoskin, it's not officially part of the name, but if you type in Classic Conversations, everything goes classical. And like, no, that's a different word.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will put a link in the show notes as well. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's see here. Yvonne, welcome to the stage. It's been a minute since we've talked to you. Great to have you back up here. And what did you want to add to all this?
Thanks. I think it's similar to what Jeff was saying. I don't have celebrities on my podcast, but I occasionally will get somebody who feels like a dream guest to me because They have a good following on Instagram. They're known by older women who are talking about pro age topics. And so I've had some of those ladies on, and it's been fantastic, actually. Each one of them has been a great episode on top of being a dream guest because they're so aligned with what I'm talking about. And then the next time I go to approach somebody who I feel is a dream guest, I've got somebody to reference who's already been on the show that gives me that credibility where they might say yes. So,
Yeah, yeah, I love
yeah.
it. Okay, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think that this is all about if this is your dream guest. It doesn't necessarily have to be a celebrity either. So, yeah, I think that applies just fine. Thank you, Yvonne. Okay, I know that we have people who could chime in even more, but I want to keep this moving. I'm going to throw this one out at you. This one I have in my extra questions category, but this one caught my eye, so I want to share it with you. Would you rather make exactly the show that you want with no income for a year, or earn $5,000 a month producing a show shaped heavily by a company? So you've basically been hired to make that show. And I'm going to throw in, and it's on stuff that you couldn't care less about. Okay, so let's do it. Ralph, we're starting with you.
Oh, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with A because of where I am in my career.
Ooh, okay. I'll have to hear more about that. How about you, DR?
I'm going to go with B. I'm not.
Okay.
I won't
Yep.
say because.
Right. Okay.
So-
B. Okay. Jason?
I think I would go with B.
Okay. Interesting. I was curious where people would go with this. How about you, Sid?
A.
Okay. And then BC.
I'm gonna. God, this one's hard. I'm gonna say A.
Okay.
I'll say A.
And we're getting a mixed bag here. Alex, how about you?
I might go with B. A's for good, but I might go with B for now.
All right, I'm going to reset for Dan here. Dan, would you rather make exactly the show you want with no income for a year, or earn $5,000 per month producing a show shaped heavily by a company that you couldn't care less about?
No income for a year. Delayed gratification, baby.
Okay, all right. And Nikki, how about you?
I'm gonna go with B for now.
Okay, B for now. Okay. And Rez, I saw you flash the money bag.
B for sure.
Oh, okay, B. Right. Okay, yeah, he flashes the money bag. That makes sense. How about you, Jeff?
Oh, me? Well, I'm already doing the no money thing, so I would try the 5,000.
I was waiting for an answer like that. Glad we have a comedian on stage. Okay, Yvonne, how about you?
Jeff and I have a lot in common. I've been living the B, and but I have a photography business that I love doing, so it lets me do that.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So Ralph, you caught my attention when you said at this stage in my career. So I'm
Yeah,
curious.
because I think it depends. Are you starving right now? And that it sounds mean, but like if you're really hurting for money and you're trying to figure out how to put meals on the table,
Sure.
then this discussion here is a tough one because you're going to do what you got to do. But if you've gotten to the point in your career where you can have some poetic license, for lack of a better term, and you can put some stuff out there into the ethos to see where it lands, that's why I picked that one, because that's where I am personally. And that's grace of God for me, to be blunt. But I understand the other side of that because a lot of people are struggling right now. The economy is not great.
Right.
And if you've got an opportunity to go make money, then the argument could be made, well, I'll go make the money and I'll have time to do this other passion project. But dude, it comes down to putting food on the table sometimes. And that's why I think that the B is going to be a popular answer, especially for content creators.
Fair point. Yes, it certainly depends on your current situation. Jason, did you want to add something?
Yeah, this is my perspective on this. I'm already doing this in regards to working with clients and building podcasts that are for them. Now, $5,000 a month from one, no, but over that collectively, sure. My thinking is if I could take a year to really focus on making that really good, I make my money. That's $60,000 that I have at the end of that 1 year. now I can move back to my podcast and I've got some money that I can put behind it. So maybe now I can invest in ads. Maybe I can invest in studio space. Anything that I feel might take my podcast to the next level, I've got some cash in my pocket to play with. That's how I looked at it. Now, if I'm looking at it wrong, then tell me, but that seems like a pretty good trade-off at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there's no hidden agenda here. This is to be interpreted however we want to interpret it. Nikki, you had something you wanted to add. Go for it.
I was going to say that for me as a new podcaster, I would want to gain the skills of podcasting before I kind of jumped into my own. Now, if I already had the tech skills and all the know-how, I probably would go the route of making my own podcast the way I wanted it to be. But if I didn't have the skills and I could learn that by producing a different show, I think it would be really good because a lot of what I know in my own business world is because of the jobs that I have worked, and those jobs have given me tremendous knowledge and skills that now I use for my business.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Yeah, if you're a newer podcaster, sure, it would be exciting to get an offer to work on a show for $5,000 a month, but you may not be ready for it. Yeah, I agree with you. Anyone else want to chime in? Okay. Let's do at least, let's do one more. Trying to figure out which one I want to do. Okay, would you rather have one episode go viral or gain 25 loyal listeners every month for 2 years? One episode go viral, 25 loyal listeners a month for the next 2 years. Now, I think some people have shared this already, kind of, so we'll make this one a quick round. I'm going to go to you first, Ralph.
B.
Jason?
B.
Does anyone disagree with Jason or Ralph? Does anyone feel they would rather have one episode go viral? No. Okay, then I'm going to go to a bonus question. Would you rather, this is inspired by something Sid said earlier, would you rather give your upcoming guest every question for an interview or enter with one question, giving them just one question and follow the conversation from there? Ralph?
B. Follow the conversation.
Okay. Jason, I know your answer, knowing you.
B.
Yeah. Okay, and let's go to DR. DR? Are you still on Clubhouse at least? I know you had to get off the video. Okay, we'll come back to you. Sid, how about you?
This mute button today, my goodness. B.
Okay, B. So he wants just one question and follow the conversation from there. BC?
I'm going to say A this time.
Okay, so you're cool with giving, and let's stop here for a second. You're cool with giving every question before an interview to that guest. Can you expand on that? How come?
For me, my one little caveat here is that I want to make sure they're okay with what I want to touch on, so that if we follow a blank conversation with one prompt, I don't want to accidentally go anywhere that is not comfortable for them.
Okay. Yeah. So you're looking to try to create some trust between you and the guest and giving them those questions to feel comfortable and really prepare for the interview. Yeah. Okay.
And honestly, what I do, I don't even give a full list of questions. I say, here's what I want to talk about, but this is not in any way a strict verbatim list.
Yeah.
We'll get to all these at some point.
Sure. Yeah. I think I'm with you there in the sense, if my guest asks, I'm okay giving them questions, but I don't think I would give them every question, partially because I'd be afraid that, they're going to create answers to every question and then have something scripted and it's not going to feel natural. Yeah. So I'm not into that idea, but I would at least give them a few questions and or topics that I want to cover with them. So again, that they can prepare, but not over prepare, because I think an interview that's over prepared for, generally speaking, kind of sucks. Just being honest with you. All right. Anyone else want to chime in?
Chime in. Go ahead.
All right. We'll go to Yvonne and then Alex.
So part of my calendar link setup gives them a list of sample questions just so they have an idea of what I might ask them. But I also say, these are just examples of the types of questions I ask, and we follow a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you there. And Alex, let's go to you.
Sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to ask. I mean, yes, I mean, you have the outline of questions that you're going to ask, but you got to follow the conversation because there's just sometimes it just doesn't work with that constraint.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I don't think you're the only one. I know a lot of podcasters who, Jason, I think you do this, right? When you prepare for a show, you don't necessarily have every question prepared.
I have 0 questions prepared. I talk with the person I'm going to bring on the show, and we figure out the angle that we want to take, and then I do my research on them and learn about them. I listen to some shows they've been on. I find out what they're passionate about. Sometimes if they say that within the first 5 minutes of a show, I'll move to another show. So I can have enough to understand who they are and what they do. But when they come on the show, we just talk and we just focus on the conversation. And I let them know that's how it's going to roll. And I've had no problems with it up to this point. But I will say this, to add a caveat to that, that comes with experience. It's very hard for a new podcaster to just start like that. I'm doing this for over a decade now, so I feel comfortable and confident that I can do that. But if you're brand new, try it. But you might want to have a couple bullet points or a couple questions in front of you just in case, because sometimes you're just not ready for that yet. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just something that comes more naturally with more experience.
Yeah, I personally, even doing this for over 20 years, I personally prefer having questions in front of me. Do I get to all of them? Almost never.
There you go.
Yeah. And do I end up asking questions that I didn't have prepared? Absolutely.
Right.
But I personally, I have too much anxiety to go into an interview without questions. Even if I've learned a lot about them going into the interview, maybe it's my ADHD and knowing the ADHD in me that I will forget half the things I want to ask. So it's a confidence booster for me.
Yeah, I think it's personal preference. Whatever makes you comfortable. I'll go back to what you were saying before. If it's over scripted and you give somebody the opportunity, they have all of the questions in advance and then they write out answers. I've seen that happen. It's ugly. And it takes away from the true core root of what a good podcast is all about. And that's usually rooted in good conversation and something that engages both the host and the guest and builds something in a synergistic environment that the audience can then grab a hold of. So if you're scripting it, it sounds almost like you're reading an audiobook. It can take some air out of the show.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yes. Rez, I'm going to give you the final word, and then I want to share some thoughts before we wrap up.
Appreciate it, Mark. So my very last episode, I had this guy on, right? And I had prepared for it, crazy. Like I had a lot of questions, and he hijacked the entire episode. Like I couldn't even ask him one question. He literally wouldn't stop talking for the whole episode. So I just want to share that even if you have questions, sometimes you just can't ask them because it just
What did you end up doing, Rez? Did you just
I went with it. I went with it, and he gave me an excellent review on Podmatch. So I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Oh, damn. I think I missed a good question. Was it about scripting?
No, it was about giving your questions to a guest.
You know what?
I
do it. I give my questions to the guest.
Okay.
Am I in the minority?
Yes, you are, but I'm with you. So you got me at least and a couple other people as well. All right, listen, this was a lot of fun. And, those choices that we made also revealed, I think, something kind of important, that every podcasting decision comes with some trade-off, right? Like more reach may mean less connection. More frequency may affect the quality of the show, right? And I know we didn't get to that specifically, but you get my drift. And more recognition may produce less revenue. So the best choice depends on what you're trying to build and what matters to you right now. There's rarely one answer, as you could hear today, that works for every podcaster. A decision that helps one show grow could pull another show away from its purpose. Your priorities, like Ralph was sharing earlier as far as whether or not you could afford to do a show for free for a year, those priorities may also change as your podcast, your business, and your life changes. So when you feel stuck between options, just ask yourself, which one moves me more closer to the kind of podcast or the kind of business or relationship with my audience that I actually want? Then consider what you're willing to give up in exchange for it. For me, once I understand both the goal and the trade-off, that's when the choice becomes a lot easier. So I hope that this was helpful for you today, and a reminder that we are back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern, covering all things podcast news. So if you want to be in the know about the latest and greatest stuff going on in this very industry, come join us tomorrow at podcastingmorningshow.com/join us. And if you can't join us live, no worries. You can still use that link and find the episode when it publishes a few hours later. So until tomorrow, make it a great day, everybody. Take care.